All right, welcome back, esports fans. We are 1-1 in this grand final series between PSG Talon and Mega Bank Beyond Gaming for the PCS Summer Championship. Hi, everybody. I'm Pyrotechnics. He's Clement, and our wonderful sponsors, they haven't changed either, fortunately. They are CTBC Bank, China Airlines, Chunghwa Telecom, and, of course, Caliber. Thank you for making the PCS possible. Now, Clement, we're up 1-1. We've got a series. This is officially not a repeat of the spring split finals. Mega Bank Beyond Gaming definitely looked good in that second one, although, as you pointed out, some of their fights were a little bit sus.
Yeah, I think the feeling I'm getting from this series is I expect PSG to be able to pivot towards late game team fight and just try to meet Beyond Gaming there. I don't think Beyond Gaming are necessarily like the best team fighters themselves, so PSG should have an equal footing. But the main thing is, as we have mentioned before, make sure that you get a Felios Blue side, or you ban it, or you just put something that can deal damage from Maple. I think if they do those two things, I'm still feeling pretty favored towards PSG.
It's certainly looking good for them as they should be going over to the blue side for this next pick and ban phase. We will finally get to see that shift around. And yeah, I mean, maybe that is the big part of it, right? The Aphelios has been kind of the MVP both games so far. Effectively, maybe not exactly, but effectively it's been stacking them up. And you know, it was 200 years of game design collectively, Clement. Maybe it's 200 years of collective draft strategy.
Every time I hear that phrase, I'm just like, oh my god, my head hurts. But no,
so much mileage out of it, though. It's great. Anyways,
yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's great. The memes are amazing.
Do you think anything else will change red side now for Beyond Gaming in the draft, though?
So the way the drafts have been shaking out is that the blue side will just ban Ziggs and just hold on to their picks. So most likely the red side, in terms of 80 carries, they either have to play Varus or Ashe, and that more focuses them down onto pick potential compositions. And I'm not sure what Beyond Gaming actually have there. There's a different line here where Beyond Gaming could match with Jinx, and this is something that they have done in the past in regular season, just to keep themselves with a hyper carry. Right. But I think it's pretty clear that Beyond Gaming are probably just going to ban the Aphelios. Like, I don't see it going through. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So rather than leaving the Thresh, or banning the Thresh out, they ban the Aphelios instead. So that is going to prompt PSG to go for Xin Zhao for River. Despite being a pretty comfortable champion for him, this is also a huge takeaway from Husha. Keep in mind, that has been his, by far, most played champion in the postseason. Beyond Gaming, looks like the choice is to just opt into range here. We saw Doggo on this Varus in game one.
You know, Varus has just been the straight-up go-to, and if they pick this one, I feel like from the drafts we've seen from PSG, they actually default to Jhin, which is not great, because the lethality build he holds does not pack that much power into the late game. If they do still go for Jhin, I want to see him try another build. The build that Lil V went for, I feel like is a little bit more stable when it comes to post 30 minutes. And for Beyond Gaming, it looks like they're going to try their hand again at something very similar to game one, where it is a lot of snowballing potential, a lot of single target burst.
Well, if they do get those skirmishes and they actually go for them early, we'll see how it goes. Man, River looks like he's been playing for a lot more than 2 games already. That hair is up. Oh, it's Ezreal this time for Unified.
Okay, I can hang with the Ezreal as well. I feel like Ezreal is absolutely fine. You get poke comp, you get scaling. It's a little bit safer than Jhin with the way you want to play it.
And you say globals? Yeah, left open this time around, so they snap it up for Hanabi on the blind. I like this. It does give them a lot of global potential already.
Yeah, PSG have a very strong composition for something like Zoe. Beyond Gaming probably just have to 100% ban that champion. You don't want to get like double poke with zone control over. The Lucian, I don't really see Lucian being particularly effective against Gangplank Ezreal. Like, it's very hard for him to chase up. So, yeah, the Gwen's probably a bit of a better pick. Doesn't win lane necessarily, but still that factor to just chase people down, massive amounts of damage, and the scaling to boot to match kind of the Gangplank scaling.
Yeah, so with Gwen locked in for Liang now, we'll see what Beyond are going to ban if they do opt into that Zoe, trying to deny Maple on some of the most powerful picks that he has. And you're absolutely right. There it goes.
Yeah, that's kind of the obvious jigsaw piece to this puzzle right here. I wonder what else they want to take away. So it is going to be an AP champion here. If you're thinking about it, it's probably Syndra left in the rotation. Yeah. This is a comp where I'd be willing to play Sylas as well, because it is a little bit slow, but you have a lot of scaling elements, and that kind of has been just the name of the game here. So my guess is Beyond Gaming probably banned Syndra, but PSG are happy with Silas.
Yeah, that would also be a Malon takeaway, technically speaking, but we'll see if that ends up being what Beyond do, taking a lot of time on this last ban away, and definitely the focus has been on Maple this time around. Obviously, LeBlanc kind of being a more permanent ban, but a lot more circumstantial. Really waiting down to the last second, and it is going to be the Syndra, as predicted.
I also wouldn't mind just going Azir here from PSG. Like, the control denial and the scaling aspect is so incredibly strong. And I think, weirdly enough, PSG just hasn't been gravitating toward Azir. I feel like he's actually somewhat playable after the buffs to most of the mage items that cut the price by 200 gold. It really allows him to flow into that second item or third item a lot easier.
Okay, Thresh going to be banned out eventually. Now, speaking of kind of more long-range control mages, the Victor has been making a cameo in the flashes a couple of times, and we'll see if this ends up getting locked in for Maoan this time around.
Yeah, I think both sides are now gravitating towards the late game. They have just realized that, nothing early has been working. Let's just scale. This would be an old favorite for Beyond Gaming. Oh, but they take away the Azir. I like this a lot, actually. This is really smart. Azir fits the composition for PSG a little too well. So they are going to take it on their own side. And it also has a lot of great wave clear against Silas. There's not much you can do.
Whoa. Talk about match in range. That would be something else, man.
We have seen this in the LCK. It's not completely unheard of. I'm not a huge fan.
Are we going to get a Shurima showdown? No. Okay, last second. It turns into the Trundle, but there's still time.
It's not bad. It's just, I feel like if you put Maple on something that's just like pure poke, that's a bit of a waste. I still prefer the Silas overall. We'll see if he gets that one. It has to be something AP right here. Oh my god!
Not the karma! Not the karma!
No, not karma!
It did not work.
No,
not the karma!
Please no! Oh god!
Okay, last second we got it.
Okay.
It's the Zareth. We're getting a Shurima showdown in mid lane, Clement.
I feel like PSG were just playing with our hearts. We're saying no karma because honestly, Maple on utility sucks. It's so bad.
It's not great, but we don't have to see it this time. Man, a Zareth versus Azir matchup is going to be so much fun. Down on the bottom side, the Trundle preemptively comes in as a kind of, a bit of that old tank buster support we do see in the PCS, and Leona being the optimal pick here, regardless for Beyond Gaming. This has been such a fun draft.
Yeah. This is PSG going on a completely different track. This is full poke comp versus a full-on out-value composition. You have the 1-3-1 on Beyond Gaming. Honestly, Husha can fill that role in the late game, and nobody's going to be able to match him. With pretty good engage potential overall from the Chains of Corruption, too. So I would say this is very interesting. Both of these teams are looking into the future. They're looking into more of a late game setup, and they still have pulled out very unique comps. First time we're going to see a Zareth in the PCS.
Yeah, this is massive. I love to see some of those cards being held until the last minute. This is the grand finals. This is game 3 here. And Maple, with so many bans focused on him, so much pressure on this, frankly, like legendary player here for this region. He comes out with something new here, and there's so much poke, there's so much damage. I love what PSG are bringing. The question is, will it take the win? Or will Beyond Gaming find it for themselves? They've got a lot of power as well. Getting the Viego and the Gwen is pretty huge, as well as that Zareth for a lot of long-range control.
This is probably the most disgusting comp we've seen all playoffs. If they're together in front of your tower, just imagine the amount of stuff they can just throw at you. They've got great disengage as well. Like, it's actually really hard running up against this composition. If you're Husha or Liang, you have to go through Pillar, you have to go through Barrage, and there's Crescent Guard too. So I feel like we need to see a very strong flank game, especially from Leon. This is probably his biggest test this entire postseason, to see if he can actually find some of these backlines.
We'll have to find out. Both teams split a win at 1 apiece here in the grand finals. It will be no repeat of the spring split performance. Both these teams already qualified for Worlds, but looking for that title of champion of the PCS. Here in Game 3, we'll see who comes out ahead as we kick things off, taking a look at our runes. Two comets in the mid lane. No surprises when it comes down to those big mages.
Yeah, it's been a while since we have seen Xerath. The theory is very simple. You just outpoke Azir, and for Azir, he can't really use Shifting Sands that much. It's very mana intensive. So you can very easily force him out of lane. The weakness about Azir is that he's quite gankable. If you put him past mid, he has no mobility, and it's quite possible for you to just flash over the Shocking Orb and get the stun as the Viego. So we're gonna see if that interaction comes through.
Absolutely. Taking a look at summoners as well. Teleports, of course, matched on both sides. The ongoing for that Ghost on Gwen. Curious about how this matchup in the top side is going to shake out. Hanabi definitely was pretty happy to get his hands on the Gangplank this time around, as it has been denied him thus far.
Yeah, and this is a huge pick for PSG because they can opt to play complete weak side for Hanabi. They'll still farm up towards the top lane, but they don't have the gank for him, and he has that Cannon Barrage to then help out the bottom side as well. So even though Ezreal versus Varus, you expect the Ezreal to just get pushed in, it's going to be harder for Beyond Gaming to execute on tower dives like they did in Game 2 because of the fact that Cannon Barrage can just slow you down.
Already a decent bit of poke here. Maple does get turned on, though, by Malon Sand Soldiers. And yeah, I mean, I just can't get enough of this match. It's so fun to see, considering what the meta we have been in has just been so focused for so long on assassins, and particularly when it comes down to Maple. And when we get some of the mages, there are a lot of those more bursty types like Syndra. This one it's just so different, and it's so much fun. As Hanabi does get denied on a bit of an early attempted aggression there to try and poke out Liang's Gwen.
Yeah, but still winning this lane quite hard from this point on. And I have to say, Liang has not had a good time against Gangplank. It's a very difficult matchup for him, and we saw, even with counter picks like Lucian, even with Camille, he has not been able to crack Hanabi Gangplank. This has been a massive obstacle in his way for now. On the other part of the map, we do have River just trying to meet Viego in the bot side scuttle. He should be able to win this out if he arrives there in time. However, the bot side push for Doggo and Kino is very strong.
Yeah, and this is something that Doggo and Kino are really good at. You know, despite the fact that we've seen some dives go the other way, like in laning phase, Doggo he's just such a dominating presence. Pushes forward, finds the aggression, finds that little bit of extra poke. River is actually going to come topside, and they're going to try and make Liang's life really bad for a little bit.
If this dive comes through, Liang's lane is going to get significantly harder right here. I'm not sure if he has the mist here.
He snips the barrel.
Here comes the trade.
That's actually really clutched by snipping the barrel away. Did mean that they're going to have to kind of get delayed here on this push-in. And on the opposite side, you see Husha coming down to try to make a counterplay on bot. This is just denying Liang a ton of farm, as it does seem to be playing up towards the top side. Husha, he gets spotted, though, and he actually just goes for the Krugs.
I hope I don't jinx myself, but there's zero chance that Ezreal actually dies in here. With the cleanse there, it's not really possible. So
and full vision.
Yeah, I think PSG are fairly comfortable with this. They have the confirmation that Husha's not going top lane. They can continue to bully out. And look at that CS difference. This is going to be a very slow Gwen to come online.
Yeah, Liang's going to have a very, very tough time here. In terms of other options, obviously, like getting Husha off to a flying start and letting him try to carry is going to be always a valuable strategy, even if it doesn't tend to be the game plan for Beyond Gaming. Malon poked out pretty heavily in this mid lane as well, but, you know, execution damage. Options limited a little bit early for the Zers to have 6, and we'll see if Liang can hold on in this top side. Man, yeah, forced to just have 10 farm. Hanabi tripling that.
Yeah, this is going to be Sheen versus Ruby Crystal start, so that's a painful start for Liang. He's been just denied from so much CS, 24 CS right now. It's about 400 or 500 gold coming into it. The first back is going to be absolutely terrible, and here we have the TP.
Doggo gonna get caught, actually, and exhausted on Chomp. There's the teleport about to complete. Maple incoming, and he gets him with the Arcano Pulsar. Oh boy, Kino, he's gonna be stopped up as well. It's gonna be a 2 for none. Double kill from Maple, and just like that, we're on the board.
If you think mid lane was bad before, it's gonna be a lot worse this time. Just Grapevine on Kaiwing to slow everyone down. And look at the positioning here. There's nowhere for Doggo to really dodge out. Maple also shoots the Arcano Pulse more toward the right side there, and you know, doesn't give him the chance to dodge out and escape and make distance at the same time. So just great use of just leveling the priority in the mid lane.
It's those assassin instincts on Maple. He just makes that Xerath look really good. Picks up 2 kills for himself with the help of Unified Kaiwing. Now Husha is going to start off on a Mountain Drake, and they do have Kino and Maoan here to try and guard for it, so they should be able to pick this one up off the timing. But all the same, PSG off to a great start in this game.
Yeah, just look at that top lane. It's exactly like I said. It's Sheen versus
boy. Yeah, you hate to see it.
Oof, that's a rough one. That's a real rough one. So, I think for now, like after that lane for PSG, Hanabi can actually just hold this wave. Like Liang can't do anything against it. He can't walk up. If he walks up, he's just gonna take his full HP bar, and he has Cannon Barrage right now, so you gotta actually just kill him. Yeah, I think Beyond Gaming just need to wait until Azir gets back online.
Hanabi is really like after what we saw in the previous series that these two met in, like Hanabi is really just kind of gone full Super Saiyan. Like he's had so many great games, especially against J-Team. Now he's been holding the line well, and now he finally gets like a matchup where he can certainly win. And look what he's doing. He's winning it hard.
Yeah, this is not what you want it to be here. I like the positioning for Liang. He's trying to hold the minion wave right outside of tower. That's actually the best spot for top laners to get it right there, to get the wave. Let's see if he can actually keep it there. It doesn't look like it, though. Navi's just going to come in and bounce out right back. And for now, PSG, I feel like they have full right of way. It's very easy for them to find plays in either the top side or the mid lane. So I feel like Husha right now, he's probably forced to match in the top side. He needs to keep these lanes stabilized, and that in turn gives Rivers a lot of chance to go and impact the bot side.
Gives a lot of freedom for sure. Early on in this game, definitely a lot of options here for PSG. Husha does manage to get Scuttle up towards the top side, so they are going to be able to get vision of that at the very least as he steps into PSG jungle. While River is not at home. A couple things flying. Looks like they might want to make a play in the mid from Maoan here. Does have flash. Now they're just going to hand wave through it.
Yeah, I do like this play coming in from PSG because they have nothing to do bot side, so it's kind of just a free roam for Kaiwing to make sure that they still have that vision. They don't have to face check too much when going towards the top side, and they were very well aware that Husha was on that side of the quadrant as well, so just sweep it away. Pretty simple stuff, and I think we're settling into kind of a slow game. If this laning phase continues, it definitely favors PSG. They are going to, continue to get CS leads in top side, I think for mid lane as well. And bot lane is pretty safe at this point. We do have the Sheen already completed, so there's no real worry for the Ezreal in the bottom.
Yeah, it's a different kind of tempo, League of Legends. The tempo being slow. River is going to start off in full vision on this Herald, but there's just really no reaction that Beyond can take to really stop this. And Kaiwing's even going to come in and help out with that one. And yeah, PSG had to be feeling pretty good about it right now. Like last game, they definitely got themselves into a bit of a corner where they couldn't really do much, and Hanabi really wasn't much of a factor. But this game, it's a completely flipped script, and they can just take as long as they want, it seems.
Yeah, and I really wonder where this Herald should be going. I feel like this is actually a mid lane Herald for them. It gets to stop there. That's kind of unlucky for Maoan.
He's sniping really well. Just through those brushes as Maoan's going to be delayed on his back timer. You can see that Beyond are just trying to keep wards cleared in that bottom side. They do not want to let Doggo get dove, but it seems like PSG are perfectly content to just take it nice and easy. Oh, there's a room coming down, though.
I think the next play for PSG is you hold both the top, you hold the bottom lane, and then you open up mid. So if you do that, Azir actually has nowhere to farm. Like, I don't know what Azir does after that. If like, PSG are freezing both bot and top, and mid lane's gone, what do you even do? Azir's not really a champion that can survive without his tower.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough. I mean, he can make his own tower, but it's just unfortunately not a great one. Leon actually doing a good job of denying these barrels from Hanabi in this one and actually turning on a little bit of heat. He's still fairly behind in farm, but he's getting something back.
Yeah, and I do want to say the farm numbers can be a little bit misleading because a lot of that's actually just barrels. So He's actually further behind than the CS numbers would indicate.
Oh, that's a good point, actually, yeah.
Yeah. I do want to see the gold graph between the two. It's just, like, the way Hanabi can play this is super safe. Like, it's just punishing both the lanes are doing the same thing here. And I think what we're just waiting for is kind of a big play onto Mawan, try to catch him out, drop the Herald, and just roll from there.
Mm-hmm. And Beyond Gaming, they are really keen on keeping this bottom side of the map really lit up right now so they can't get caught out by the side of PSG. A lot of wards invested in that jungle, but not seeing anything. They have to know River is going to be up top side right now, and we could be in for a little 2v2. Yeah, River might think to drop the Herald here, make that 2v3. They actually catch out River. He's going to have to Crescent Guard on into the Cannon Barrage. Husha in a little trouble, and they've even brought in Maple with the Rite of the Arcane. 1, 2, 3 shots do land. The fourth does not. And now it's kind of a funky situation behind the turret here as Leong threads some needlework out there. That's going to be the Rift Herald dropped up top.
Yeah, kind of a garbage Cannon Barrage to start that one off. But PSG have the numbers. They will just finish
this
up.
Maybe? They don't have the damage to kill him. Meanwhile, it's going to be Husha that actually opens up with the first kill there. Hanabi turns back onto Leong, and man, this is really touch and go. Now look at how low he is, and the Solar Flare just gets flashed by Maple. Can't quite finish off Husha. They should hit the plate on this one, or maybe not, and they run out of minions. That was a very close call.
Yeah, and it ends up being a tower trade, which massively favors Beyond Gaming, given that they were down a Herald and a 4v2 tempo play. Well, watch this again. I think that was such a bad Cannon Barrage from Hanabi. There's no way that they're going forward, so you don't drop it on top of them. You drop it backwards. Look at the time on Husha. He gets like 2 seconds on Husha out of 5. So that was
Video Gaming 101.
Don't bad.
Don't shoot where the bad guys are. Shoot where they're going to be.
Yeah. So I feel like they could have cleaned this up a lot easier if not for that misplay. And honestly, it's just such a wasted opportunity from PSG here. They should have been able to get this without too many troubles, but for some reason we also had River tanking the tower when Azir and Hanabi are far healthier and can get out of CC. So a lot of mistakes happening top lane, and congratulations to BYG Gaming. They survived completely intact.
Yeah, and we're not done with the action just yet. Kino, he was fancying a chance on Kaiwing there, but after that we will just settle down for a little bit. This does mean Beyond should be in the clear to try and start up this Ocean Dragon. It will be in full vision PSG, but vision doesn't matter if you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and if you look at the bot lane, this is where I'm most surprised about too, because you have to remember, Kaiwing was sent top lane for these plays, and that just meant Doggo gets free farm. He's up about 40 CS, and he takes the first tower too.
That's actually massive right now. We have another Infernal Rift going to spawn in this one. Husha should just be able to take this tower. But meanwhile, Kino and Doggo, they're on tower 2, and Unified can't do much about it. They are sending Maple there, and Doggo does take 2 shots to the right of the Arcane, as that is going to be it. But still, Beyond definitely stepping it up in the tempo, and PSG, they got caught snoozing there.
Yeah, if you're a poke composition, you don't want to trade side lanes. That opens up the map. That means that a lot of times the enemy can just play for farm or freeze in one of these side lanes. They're not going to get grouped up together for you to poke them down. So it's very unfavorable for PSG to go into these trades. Yes, they still have the gold lead. That's definitely true. Hanabi still has the lead, but it could be so much better.
Yes, it could. Dragon advantage now for Beyond does stretch to 2. As they try to hold the line best they can. That's going to be a lot of vision wards placed down for PSG around the ramps, but as River tracks on Husha here, he's actually just going to cede over control of the Gromp and dash his way out of harm's way. So PSG definitely trying to be proactive in this one, but Beyond have found some level of momentum here.
Yeah, this is a good swap coming in here. Once again, because Maple's able to force away Maoan, it means that Doggo has to rotate mid, and they're just giving up side lane tower for free here. So it's a really nice force coming out just from the lane poke priority. In terms of the laning phase, the solo lanes for PSG are still carrying this up until this point. The next phase, I think, is going to be a little bit more difficult. What I anticipate to happen is, I feel like Beyond Gaming can't really hold on to their mid lane tower. They're not going to be able to do so once these lanes converge on themselves. You get the Mythic from Unified, and that should just be it. But the second ring of towers, I think it's going to be very hard for PSG. Sure, you get poked your first town, but if you're going in deep into these side lanes, it's so easy for Husha or Leon just to come in from their own jungle and cut you off from the flank. So I think that's where the game's really going to stall.
Yeah, we'll have to see. As it gets closer and closer to that point, there's going to be a Rift Herald started up, but Beyond are actually here to try and contest this time around. And there's the Right of the Arcane opened up on the side, just from downtown. Doggo tanking a few shots. Always got to be a little careful. The Xerath damage certainly starts to stack after a while. Ludens, of course, haven't been completed quite a while ago. And Leon will get free farm on tower, but this is going to be trade for the Herald.
And this is why you do not want to trade side lanes. This is a terrible idea. No. Honestly, all of this wouldn't have happened if PSG just got 2 kills in tower top lane and Kaiwing was able to rotate. But they failed that, so Leon gets to run away, and this is a ticking time bomb. It's still very possible that Leon just goes into the back line, and you can't really fire your Right of Arcane if a Gwen is on you.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate. So at this point, despite the rough start for Liang, he's honestly been perfectly happy to just sit in the side lanes now. You're not going to out-farm a Gangplank, but you don't have to. You can just put a lot of threat. You can put a lot of pressure wherever you need, and PSG have to respond to that.
Yeah, I think this is the wave where we will see PSG just converge. They have all of their first item mythics. It's Triforce plus the Divine Sunder, and then you have Lumens. This is so painful. And there's a Herald, too. So the mid lane's gone. It's dead. Beyond Gaming, they should not try to defend this too hard. They should just be looking forward and thinking about how to farm and how to maybe force PSG into one of these side lane split pushes, which I think they actually have the advantage of just cleaning up the team fight.
It's always an opportunity. Gold in favor of PSG. Of course, the Dragon is going to be a possibility in the next minute. PSG would certainly like to be able to take that one for themselves. Try and cut down the Drake timer for Beyond.
Yep.
River
PSG just holding on for the fork here. They want to drop it a little bit later, so they force Beyond Gaming to come back. If I'm Beyond Gaming, like, I might even consider just not defending mid lane. It honestly doesn't matter. Like, it's already dead. So there should be a lot more emphasis on getting vision onto the right side rather than trying to stay here. Like, you get nothing if you stay here. The only thing you get staying here is you get poked down. So I wouldn't try this.
Yeah,
I don't think
already
this
see
is a
that
good
now.
idea.
Whoa, forced to flash, and whoa, he hot steps right out of that one, but unfortunately burns the summoner for it. As the Rift Herald will get popped, and this should be the play. It's actually going to open up on the timer for the Dragon, or should just about do that. That's actually really good for PSG here if they can take that one away, as they have the inside track. Tower does fall as the teleport does get spent to bring Maoan back into this one, but already Kino poked out.
That was... Honestly, that was pretty bad for Maoan. he didn't accomplish anything with it, and now Beyond Gaming are going in. Maple instantly popped it out.
Yep, that's going to be burned on there. They turn it around. Cannon Barrage this time. It does get placed behind him. River is going to get the finisher onto Kino. Now they have Doggo on the exhaust right now. Husha does find one. Resets on. He has River there. Let's see if he's going to be able to get enough. Taking down Unified. The counter engage is huge here for Beyond Gaming, and they salvage that situation.
Yeah, PSG actually over-chased towards the right side. That was completely unnecessary as Husha goes in and might take down Hanabi.
Yeah, he's going to be on the honey fruit, following forward. He's a little bit slow, and he knows he's a dead man. Down he goes. Husha on 3 kills now as the delayed triple comes in. This is going to be infernal, and Beyond Gaming, the pendulum swings yet again, Clement.
Yeah, it was incredibly unnecessary for PSG. They had the positioning, they had the damage, but they just overchased so much. A second heal burn from Doggo.
Trying to play chicken on that one. At least Maple can get a summoner, but yeah, PSG just a little too over-aggressive. Let's see this play again.
Yeah, so the key thing here is you don't want to overchase on the right side because Azir can just use Emperor's Divide and stick everyone on the left, just isolate them. So I think it was a little bit unnecessary. PSG are in such a strong position after this. They go in, I think that's absolutely correct. This is fine until now. They get the kill. They shouldn't overchase for Doggo. Like, overchasing it with Doggo with Kaiwing was a little bit weird, and it forces everything from Unified. Unified tries to follow. Hanabi and Maple are like, guys, we already won here. Well, let's pack it up. But Beyond Gaming are now on Infernal Soul Point.
Yes, they are. 20 minutes into the game, and Definitely starting to look at a potential Baron play as well if things go their way. PSG, it seems like they have some things in hand, but they've been their own worst enemies.
Yeah, just way too far forward. Like, going into Gwen and Viego like that is just...
you have a poke comp. You don't have to all in. It's okay.
Yeah, that was so weird to see, especially when an Infernal is up for the grabs from PSG. So I think they're just playing this series with a lot of... I think they're trying to snowball a little bit too hard when they honestly could take things a little bit slower. I don't think their comp gets outscaled that much this time around. Like, they're just out of range for Beyond Gaming. It doesn't really matter how strong Beyond Gaming are on the offensive end. It's about how much they can take, and it's about positioning for them to actually reach batch lines.
It's definitely not been a clean series by any mark, honestly, from either of the teams, but it has been a very scrappy one. So even though it's only 4-4 in kills right now, fighting over those objectives and sometimes overfighting has been the death knell. It's BYG, of course, on that soul point, giving themselves some options. There is a big stun. We should take a little bit of damage, but Maple doesn't really have enough to finish the job. Banshee's Veil on him as well, so at least a bit of an insurance policy there.
There are a lot of juicy targets for Beyond on the side of Beyond Gaming to just open up on. Like, nobody's building MR on this team. Absolutely no one. And this is Maple with a second defensive item. He actually went Banshees first. Imagine if that's absolute focus, and then you have kind of like a dance.
Yeah, we're doing a lot more damage here. Oh, Doggo! Oh, he's going to be able to step up, but unfortunately he's pillared, and that's going to be unified with the finisher. So they do manage to set up a poke kill here, and they are looking towards the Baron.
First name Maple, last name Curry. That's that's just sad for Doggo. Like, he can't do anything in this mid. Like, he can't walk up without his team behind him. It's just a great way. It honestly does feel like PSG have practiced this comp. They did not play this a single time in the regular split, but I guess it does have some similarities to a Zoe composition. So they flowed into this beautifully.
Yeah, you don't have to get close to Paddlestar when you can just fire from downtown, right? I mean, set up the plays. I like the Ezreal combining really complements the Xerath really well to try and get those pickoffs, and certainly worked out that time around. They don't really manage to capitalize on it too much, just getting sidewave control a little bit, but it was nicely played, and I think if they can keep doing that, they definitely have a way back, or way forward, I should say.
Yeah, it's just about the next fight, which I'm a bit worried for PSG. I think Beyond Gaming, they should actually just come in late, be on time. Don't overstay, like, don't set up too early. I'm not sure what they're trying to get with this fight here.
2 cooldowns burn there on River. They actually get him down to half health, but not enough to get the kill. That's actually pretty crucial with the Dragon being up in 50 seconds.
Yeah, that was perplexing to me. Xin Zhao has Crescent Guard and Flash. You're never killing him there, so...
It's a lot of opportunistic
no solar
plays.
flare, and
just, yeah.
That's actually really bad timing. Like, most times, I advise not trying to go for picks like this when you're actually, you can take the Drake fight just straight up. Hu Shao's actually really fed at this point. He has his Hysterics Gauge, so... weird play.
Hanabi actually getting caught here and just completely pincered between 3. Nowhere for him to go as Leon takes him down. Talk about bad timing, Clement.
What are you doing, Hanabi? Come on. Where do you think they are on the map? Where else could they be? Hanabi! Oh, that was such a throw.
That was unfortunate. Doggo is going to try to step out of the right of the arcane. Dragon is going to get started up here for V5, and PSG finding themselves the man down. They might just have to say goodbye to the Infernal Soul here as it does get taken down. Beyond Gaming get themselves at the huge edge.
Look at the question mark pings on the map. Like, even PSG can't believe that Hanabi died to that.
It's a face bomb.
Like, I don't get it. Like, you have vision all across the map. Of course they're there. Where else could they be? They have nowhere else to be. I really don't get that. That's completely unnecessary death from Hanabi, and a very critical moment.
It's an oof, big time. Big blunder. That's BYG, a huge advantage in this one. 25 minutes in to have the Infernal Soul. Oh boy, PSG got their work cut out for them if they want to win this game.
Yeah, like, they could have so easily just poked down Beyond Gaming in that team fight. So I think the worst situation for PSG in that Drake fight, because Beyond Gaming were down 2 ultimates, even if Beyond Gaming took the soul, I think PSG should have been able to win that fight. Like, in a very wide margin. If you don't have Chains of Corruption and Solar Flare, you have no chance in the 5v5. But Hanabi just blew it. That was just,
yeah.
Not much to say about it.
You can't make mistakes like that in the grand finals. I mean, you can't.
Yeah. That was so detrimental. It's hard to describe how bad that was.
Right back into this is Kino going to be finding Purchase onto River, who does go golden for just seconds to get the Shurima shuffle back from Awan.
Damage.
Trying to blow through them, but it's actually PSG that find the edge here. Hanabi, he does get 2, as there was a huge Cannon Barrage finisher there, and that gets PSG in prime position for the Baron.
Yeah, most critically, Leon did not have a teleport ward there. He couldn't join the fight, and everyone was there from PSG. Well, not everyone, but they still had the range to reach and get in there. Now it's Doggo against the world.
Trying to save this one. A little bit low on the health bars here, as the Baron is still pretty healthy. Liang trying to pull them off it as well, and he does get pulled into the pit, but it's kind of up for grabs at this point. River spites for health. It does get secured, but man, that was a close call, and Liang is going to pop stages to stay alive. Unified over the wall to take the kill, and PSG are right back on the board.
That's 5 Barons in total for PSG. Nobody goes down, and I've got bad news for you. If you got Baron, that's the Siege Poke game online. They're just going to go. We'll watch this again for Beyond Gaming. I just think this is too much of an overchase. If you look at Liang's positioning, there is no chance for him to join the fight. He TP's in, but it's a little too late. And PSG, because they have semi-globals in the right of Arcane, plus the Arcane Barrage itself, they just get wiped. And you can tell, like, Doggo isn't there, Liang isn't there. That was essentially a 3v5 that Beyond Gaming took for themselves, and unfortunately, even though they get very, very close, they're not able to steal away this Baron.
Yeah, River has to smite this for health as Leon comes in on the miss right now, and, like, it's good, but it does leave it open. But the stun, oh my goodness, that's insane. And then Unified, I mean, Unified's the objective sniper, right? And then he sees Leon, he's like, I got you. You're not getting out of this one. Oh boy, PSG just pulling it back from the brink. It's just been so close.
Yeah, this is, I'll be honest, I'm sitting here just kind of fuming because I expected these two teams to play a lot cleaner than they did. But we're finally here, we're getting into the thick of things, and this is Poke City now for PSG. With Baron buff, they don't have to care about any of the side lanes, they can just straight poke, and it's up to Beyond Gaming to find a good flank, but they had no teleports available.
Oh boy. Absolutely, this is going to be tough. Yeah, Clement, I know you are the dad of the Little League team that's like, I wanted you guys to play cleaner. I'm the mom. I'm just here for everyone having a good time, and I think right now it's a little chaotic, but it does look like a lot of fun as PSG. They're opening up on this siege at 28.5.
Yeah, I do think that Beyond Gaming actually have to wait a little. Well, now they poked out River, probably not. But the critical thing for them is they need Flash on Azir, or...
Right, the Arcane. That's 1, 2, 3. 4, looking for 4th. Oh, even that's the heal, and Unified's taking him down. Oh, it just looks too easy when they land it like that. Leon wants to flank around the side, but unfortunately he gets flanked himself, and now PSG are just leading the charge here. Hanabi taking a little bit of damage. Sterak's Gauge will kick in. Leon can't really do a thing about it despite the Infernal Soul. PSG, they don't need to take a straight up fight because they have got Oak for days.
Yeah, Doggo actually funneling into the choke point himself. He wanted to get a surprise Chains of Corruption from the side, but unfortunately he was just spotted. PSG still had a ward right there. They see him, they close him off with the pillar. Great terrain obstruction coming in from Kaiwing, and you could see Doggo as he spins around in the same place trying to dodge out 4 rights of Arcane. He has to dodge out Arcane Barrage, and then the Mystic Shot finally gets him. I do not envy Doggo.
It's bullet hell. Like that, he's playing bullet hell right now, and it's just unfortunately there's no winning when the terrain manipulation comes through. It's so brutal to deal with that as an AD carry. I mean, Season 11 already is terrible, but now you got to deal with the Control Mage sniping you.
They still have a lot of burst potential, so if Beyond Gaming just find 1 kill, Hushak can mop the entire thing up. It's not even going to be hard for him to do so. So this Elder Dragon fight, if PSG don't find enough poke, I actually still favor Beyond Gaming here. The gold lead's a little bit misleading, because if you factor in the Infernal Drake, Beyond Gaming might actually have a small lead in terms of stats.
Question is, can they get close enough to actually execute? PSG are going to try and start this off. It's still 10 seconds away here. Liang coming running from base, does have teleport if need be.
There has been no poke from PSG.
Hasn't set up just yet. They actually start the Arcane Barrage. Doesn't land on anybody. And they're actually going to try and force out a fight. Just cut off the wave. This is a little rough, and Beyond, they might have an opening here.
The best play for PSG is actually to give up positioning. Like, they can come in late into the fight, and if Beyond Gaming go for the Elder, they can just poke them down. They're actually not afraid of Beyond Gaming getting on the objective first, so I don't think they should remain in range.
There we go.
Yep, use the objective as bait is probably the better move for PSG. And for Beyond Gaming, it's about finding flanks, as we see Husha around the bend right now.
They're not going to commit to this one. Doggo will be the one that picks it up as Husha does kind of catch vision around Scryer's Bloom. Reset on the Elder Drake here. You see there's a fight on multiple fronts. Liang and Hanabi are having their own kind of play here as the pillar does come up. They've caught Kino on the side. And we'll have to see is Hanabi actually getting really chunked out. It's a pretty tanky gangplank, but Maple looking to try and counter collapse here onto Liang. And he might just go down even though he goes into his own stasis. Hanabi's just setting him up and shooting him right down.
Mawan's
Meanwhile, the Ezreal takes out Mawan, and things have gone from bad to worse for Beyond Gaming as they're caught between an Elder and every one of PSG. And this might just be not a full clean wipe, but certainly a 4-for-1. Kino is going to be able to get away. They're going to go in mid for the base instead.
They're not even going to go for the Elder Dragon here. PSG are looking to finish. They have 30 seconds on the death timers with an open inhibitor. So it should be very close down here. And they still have a lead. They're going to keep Kino alive for a long time just to make sure they have the 5v4 lead into the Elder.
Absolutely.
I don't think they can finish right now, but they should be able to pick up Elder afterwards.
Okay, let's take a look at it. We've actually got one Nexus turret. They're already to go for two. I don't know. Maybe they have this one between Maple and Hanabi. I think this is going to be it as the death timers just expire. GG. It's too late. PSG, they go up 2-1.
Wow, what an amazing fight afterwards. PSG, honestly, this is a pretty shaky game from Hanabi. A lot of critical mistakes. Beyond Gaming able to come back over and over again. But the last fight, I really want to see what happened on the right side. We didn't get to catch how Mawan died. Liang just over aggressive onto Hanabi. That was kind of unnecessary from his part. And it baits the rest of the team to kind of come in and save him. So I just don't know what happened, but it seemed like Mawan just disappeared.
He really did. It was a magic trick for sure. Really, I love this kind of novel composition that comes out from PSG this game. Definitely some big mistakes. Hanabi certainly not going to be getting the best of grades for this game. He did what he needed to later on, dropping the cannon barrages, baiting Liang away from the fight, and was basically able to solo him, even though we had a little bit of help there from Maple. Was it clean? No. Was it pretty? Absolutely not. But at the same time, PSG do get the win at the end of the day with big, bold moves. And they go up on match point here, looking for a back-to-back championship in the PCS, Clement.
I love the fact that they're being forced to bring out other compositions, alternates. This is the first time that Xerath has been picked in the PCS itself. So it's amazing stuff coming out. And you can see how interesting the draft is once you take Aphelios out of the equation. Like, each side has to come up with something new. And honestly, I'm not too sad about Beyond Gaming's performance this time around. I feel like that they were holding it pretty close. There were some team fights where I felt like they were over aggressive, and the flanks never really worked for them. I think that was the big part about this team fight, about these two comps in the matchup, is Leon just never found.
They had some great counter engages. I think that was the big thing for Beyond. When they didn't start the fights, things seemed better for them. When they started them, sometimes they burned a few things that they shouldn't have before a big objective was coming in. It does seem like the timing is a little bit off, and I think you can see that there are maybe some nerves showing for some of the younger members on this squad.
Yeah, the timers could be lined up a little bit more. They didn't have to give over Baron. That for sure was one of the biggest mistakes they made this game with a decisive lead and Infernal Drake. If they didn't give over Baron like that, I feel like they should have still been able to clean it up. However, I do really want to see a last replay, if you got a production, about what really happened on the right side of that fight. I think that's the critical moment where PSG's just kind of...
I'm getting word we're not actually allowed to show it because it was actually too graphic. So unfortunately, Clement, I don't think we're going to get that one. But unfortunately for the Azir, he just got kind of deleted. And at that point, it was pretty much over. You know, I really liked the Xerath pick. It was so cool to see from Maple. It lined up so well between the Ezreal for Unified finishing off the damage and just the terrain manipulation from the Trundle. I mean, that 3-stack was incredible.
Yeah, I think the Xerath pick is so interesting. And if they didn't get the Xerath, they could have gotten the Azir. The Azir would have fitted right in with their composition. So I love the trap that PSG are setting. They're basically thinking 2 steps ahead. It's like, oh, you're going to take my perfect pick. Well, I've got a counter to your steal of my pick. And they throw it out, and it works perfectly. So it's really nice to see PSG have this sort of depth, and you get that out of experienced vets like Maple.
Absolutely, and Maple himself will be the MVP for this game. He may not have gotten every one of the kills, but he certainly set up almost every one of them. 80% kill participation, and just a brilliant play on a novel champion. Really nice to see this out of the veteran from this region.
Dance, baby, dance. So that's a great thing coming in for Maple. And I also think that showcases the possibility for Maple to go back onto Azir. That is a big pick that I feel like Maple has just been missing. It was most played in spring, but he didn't really take it in summer. And I think the time is right for it again. Like, the mages are definitely back. This matchup has been about scaling the entire way through. So it's time to welcome the Emperor of Shurima.
Yeah. The Emperor's dead. All hail the Emperor for sure. Really well played from Maple and from PSG this time around. They find themselves up 2-1 on the series. Will they close it out in 4, or will they be forced to game 5? We'll find out right after this. Don't go anywhere.